You're just in time. Saved you a seat for the Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find aimed at male self improvement. Probably one of the greatest skills you could cultivate as a man, whether you are self improving or not. Okay, bro, you need this one just for life. Because inevitably, okay, sooner or later, you're going to have to do something you don't want to do. Okay, let's start there. Maybe you're one of those guys. Maybe you're living a life right now in which you don't really have to say that for yourself. Whatever you are doing, it is actually what you want to do every single day. Okay, you know, well, you're definitely blessed. I don't, not sure how many, of us modern men are truly able to say that every single day, bro, just exactly how it's supposed to be. You know, all your wishes and desires fulfilled. All right, from the moment you wake up all the way to the moment you sleep. It's whatever you want it to be. Okay, that is super dope. Now, problem if life is not like that, and you find it, you find your existence being okay. A bit of an understatement. How about for now we'll just say you feel as though you're missing a thing or two. Okay, there's some things that are out of order. I don't know. Is this really how much I should be making right now for the kind of life I truly want to live? You know, this is this is as good as it can get. Okay, this is I'm talking about basic quality right now. This is all the stuff I'm ever gonna eat, and I'm just always gonna be here, and just this is what I'm always gonna do. Hey, I mean, if your answer, no, seriously, truthfully, if your answer for all those questions is, yeah, pretty much, well, even just a straight up instant reaction, yes, that's perfectly fine. It's if you are a man that is trying to do more with yourself, or or you are simply looking for more out of this world. You would like to see if your reality could be filled with just betterment across the board. This is health. This is people in your life. This is what you do. This is what you get to do. This is how you make your money. This is just how you feel about life. Could it be? Could it be better? Could there exist these higher dimensional planes of living? You could activate, you know, exceedingly higher amounts of joy and purpose, peace, fulfillment, and knowing down to your core the very definition, the innermost meaning of your own life and why you are here. These kinds of questions will usually follow a man that has even a slight interest in attempting to do exactly that. Chase that higher, better sense of living, of life. And okay, I mean, I'm biased. This is a self improvement podcast directed for men. So, of course, I would recommend any guy give it a shot. Okay. I'm talking at any level in life. There is no need for comparisons or anything like that. Whether you are a big ballin', okay, today, in the upper echelon of society. Okay, the what do they call it? The Mile High Club. All right. I mean, hey, that's awesome. No, you find yourself on the other end of the spectrum. I mean, is this the majority? Could I say this is more common to be on the lower end of life? You are getting by and you are surviving is quite the blessing. Okay, you gotta give it up for survival. It's nice, to be alive, to even be here in this moment, for us to be engaging in this weird, podcaster viewer YouTube way. And there are all sorts of reasons to stick around. There are all sorts of, actually, just straight up really cool things about the modern life that give any man I would say, a pretty profound reason to, at the very least, see what happens. You know, what's it? How is tomorrow going to unfold for you, brother? Might be quite predictable. Might be following along the lines of a life that you've already been living for quite a while. Okay, fair enough. What seems to be plaguing so many modern men today, though, is the inability to do even that. You would think that's a given. As I just said, it's quite the blessing to be alive. To realize, be so self aware of your own existence, basic sentience in this way. So that could definitely invoke the feelings for a man to be, pretty grateful. Yeah, okay, or I'm here. I can think, I can breathe, got all my senses. I'm able to continue experiencing this very strange, peculiar thing we all called life, maybe a little bit more specifically, the human experience. So when you're not able to do that, the inability, as I said, this is when suffering really begins to take hold of a man. Now, this is where things take a darker turn. You don't want to. It begins to get so hard to even continue, to even have that desire to show up. Okay, yeah, I mean, yes, this is getting more pessimistic and nihilistic, even in the way that I'm thinking to describe it right now. I really, okay, I feel as though my hands are tied. It's not really much of a choice. I It's really hard to talk about this in any other way. You know, okay, maybe not you, not necessarily you, my king, but I I'm willing to bet, I'm willing to make a real safe assumption right there. You know exactly what I'm talking about, though. As you wake up to the next day and you're thinking to yourself, it oh, cool. Yeah, man, it's not even cool. It's really more like, whatever. Okay, I'm up. All right, here we go again. It is what it is, you know, to keep on keeping on. And it really wouldn't matter to me if I didn't. If I didn't wake up, if it didn't keep going, if I wasn't able to continue however I have been living. That, that right there can be, I'm really trying to trace it to more of an original source of modern male suffering. Yeah, okay, this is getting a little weirdly philosophical, but I mean, you so as you're listening to me, you think about where all your problems are coming from. It's yeah. If where are they all kind of funneling back to? What's causing all of this? Could it really simply be because of however my current reality is continuing to unfold in front of me? I'm not able to possess any kind of feelings that I want to engage with it. God forbid, actively engage with it. That this this sense of zeal for life. Okay, it's this is really not that deep. No, brother, I'm talking about to wake up on any given day to be excited to be you. Now, when that is difficult, okay, we'll go. we'll paint it a little bit worse than that. If it is non-existent, then okay, in this perspective, you any man in his right mind would be forced to conclude, what is the point to anything? Why? There is there there is no why. A job, okay, this relationship with this very strange creature called a woman, and maybe even kids. Do I have any fathers listening? Oh yeah, paying bills and playing some games, okay, jamming on this MMORPG or FPS or MOBA right now. Pick your genre, pick your flavor. Checking out this show, checking out this movie, checking out this content that I cannot explain in intricate detail due to the fact that I am on YouTube. Oh, if you know, you know. And just about any single guy going through it right now. And what I mean by going through it is struggling to find a, a a powerful reason, right? That could give him enthusiasm to keep going. Then yes, you definitely know what I mean. It's a whole lot of ice. It's a whole lot of, what can I do? And it's never been easier in this way, but what can I do? What can I look at right now to forget about the fact that I don't want to be here? I never really have. Okay, well, I'm when you're on the younger side, okay, sure, I guess we could just be like, what is this? How old is this kid? Teenager? Okay, this is a phase. This is the emo phase. Yeah, you could say that. Oh, not so much. Not so much when you're mid 20s and up. Not so much when you're in your mid 30s and up. Not so much when it's even beyond that. 40s, 50s, it just keeps on going. And you've been around for a minute. And it's a very grim realization. Okay. Sits on your heart like a boulder. It's really just, regardless of what has happened already and how long I've been around, is that none of it needed to happen. Okay, what I mean by that is, it would have been fine if at any point it just stopped happening. That none of it ever really happened. There's no investment of any kind. There's no kind of a stakes in there. You know, a a reason to be uh, you know, worried or stressed out about something because of how badly you want it to go a certain way. Okay, no, now I don't mean to take on needless stress just for the sake of trying to feel alive. But now, what's very interesting about stress for the masculine experience, when it is intended and it's very purposeful, that is the only kind of stress that can grow you into a whole different version of you, bro. That now, ideally, that would be the entire point of self improvement. But that's not, it's like you could understand all the self improvement techniques and lifestyle and, eh, you know, having all planned out, the schedule and the routine, and knowing what to do, knowing is half the battle, and that's wonderful. Useless, still going to be useless if it cannot be enacted. You're not actually able to bring yourself into the motion and the actions of what your dream life, of what your envisioned perfect reality is calling you to attempt. It's a whole lot of stuff to try and to do in order to make it happen. That's the real fight. That's what I mean, just modern men, so many are so put off. That what I just described right there, figuring out for yourself, and then after you figure it out, okay, this is what I'm going for. I really want to live like this. I really want life to be like this. And you have that ideal. You've set a standard or a goal to try and hit. And so now you're headed there. And you actually have you would have a pretty robust and well defined path to do what you got to do, but to do it so many, whether they know or don't, have absolutely no desire for that. Just simply to do. So what is really going on here? What is the substitute? It's such a fight. It's an absolute. It's a battle. I I mean, this is more of a dramatic take, but I usually take the dramatic side because it explains it, I believe, in a much better fashion, and that is, it's absolutely a war going on out here. No, no, I don't want to go down the conspiratorial route of the war on men, the war on masculinity. No, brother, I'm really trying to get into this very personal war. And it is between you and your own struggles. Oh, you definitely have them. You absolutely do. If you didn't, I don't think you'd be looking up. You'd be interested in even. Okay, I try. You know the way I set up the title and the thumbnail and whatnot. Okay, I do. It's like come on in here, and stay. So possibly I could really help you out. But to even think, have that thought, oh hey, I'm going to go on the internet and try to look for something like this in order to help myself. That kind of proves that everything is not as awesome as it could be. You do want change. You do have desire to on to broader and better horizons for yourself. I mean, okay, look, first things first is that you absolutely can. That is not there's no doubt there. That this is not super feel good positive encouragement. I really do try and work with the truth at all times. At least, at the very least, as accurately as possible. And that's why I said that. You definitely can. I don't know who you are. I don't even know what you're trying to do. But if you're looking to self improve, you're looking for a better life, it is absolutely possible. It gets a little bit trickier when you have in front of you, sometimes how it looms over you like a giant, right? And it might not actually be, but the perspective can shift it towards this seemingly insurmountable obstacle. Okay, it cannot be scaled. All right, a hurdle you won't be able to jump over. That's how it feels. That's how it appears when you're looking at the actionable steps. Okay, cue the internet buzzwords for self-improvement. But I mean, this is when the moment arrives, as I like to say. And you have a choice to make. Okay, plug in any goal. No, no, for real, bro. Right now, feel free to plug in your own goals. Okay, I really want to start doing these workouts. I have this idea, the again, the goal, the vision, the dream. I have this idea of how I want to look. Fantastic. So I really hate my job. Can't quit it. But it'd be nice if I could try and get into a different line of work that I enjoy way more, might even make more. Okay, let let money let money sit on the lower end of the priority list. I mean, unless you're super strapped, super tight for cash, that puts you in kind of a different situation. But I would say if your life is comfortable enough, you are, paying, you are able to make ends meet, the bills are paid, and you're continuing to, meet your own requirements for basic necessities, you're in a really good spot. God knows how difficult that is. The the situation seems ever worsening for just your average American man to even do that. I know. Very very aware of the current. I mean, this is. Let me just let me just insert this real quick in case this episode becomes a time capsule or something like that. But it is the year 2025 right now, kind of smack dab in the middle. Okay, we got about half of the year left to go. Okay, it should be an interesting one. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And no, I mean, I totally get it. It's all sorts of everyone's got their crazy predictions for how it's going to go down. Okay, is it all right? Is this one the real doomsday? It's not a fake doomsday like all the other ones. Okay, however they were predicted at whatever time. Okay, is the world ending soon? Whether it is or is not. Okay, first off, I wouldn't hold your breath, bro. Second off, I believe there's absolutely there's it is perfectly fine. It's more than fine. It's dope. Yes, it's sweet to take your life one day at a time. It's really all you have. And I would have you really zero in on that, on this daily pacing. But even that can be very overwhelming for a guy who has been, kind of daily pacing himself into all sorts of experiences and struggles that he has no desire to be a part of. Life has been rough. You know, life life can be brutal in this way. All right. What is a man to do when he is unable to find any kind of incentive or motivation within his immediate vicinity, even in his local proximity? It's not to get up and move. Oh yeah, I need to go to a different state. Oh, I need to go to a different country. Okay. All right. What's that other one? Passport, bro. I mean, hey, okay, but by all means, brother, I'm not saying that's the answer. I'm saying the answer is the change in you, in you. Far less to do with your external reality. No, no, no. You're really looking for results here. You really want to you're trying to gain some traction, make some progress, see some growth. That's all in you. That's why I said you definitely can. And it is very possible. It's just engaging with the fight. Oh, and how hard it really feels. Oh Lord, it's crazy. It's like reality itself kind of it it transforms itself before your very eyes in this way. You know, what do you really have to do here? What was the example I mentioned earlier? The gym, something like that. A super basic, simple one, but I maybe I'll get there in a bit. But let me finish this point. It's just the benefits of the gym for any man. I really, oh Lord, it's not even two birds with one stone. It's several. It's all the birds with one activity. The gym is amazing. But let's just say that's the actionable step. So what is it really? If it's not a home gym, okay, it's literally get changed. It's like get changed. Definitely bring some water. Okay, so like, oh, where's my bottle? Where's my bottle? Or maybe grab a plastic one. I would say try to stay away from plastic though. And you gotta get in the car, and you gotta get there, and you gotta walk your butt in there, and you gotta go for it. Probably in between 30 and 60 minutes. I think that's the average. You're gonna be there for a decent amount of time. And that's it. That's not what it feels like. That's not what it appears to be. Okay, after work and you're super tired, after a lifetime of this existential emptiness, after, you having been through, kind of your own personal yeah, struggles and challenges that would make it so difficult for you to even push your mind, push your brain over to a decision like that to make for yourself. Now all of a sudden, no, it doesn't seem like that. Now all of a sudden the gym seems an entire voyage away. And just to change into that gym outfit of yours is okay. I don't even know. You are putting on clothes made of steel. Every motion is so heavy, so off-putting, so unattractive. Your brain is defaulting. You are all of a sudden being dragged back to what always happens. But what always happens is kind of how you ended up in this situation in the first place. Such a vicious cycle in this way. To break it, that's the fight. Oh yeah, to 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 kind of take it with your bare hands and snap it right there, just so something different can happen. That's the war. Okay, win, lose, getting your butt kicked, or absolutely, dominating and conquering out there like a king. It's your main concern. What so many of us are struggling with today is even realizing that there's one, is even showing up to fight, is even trying to take a swing. Look at you. uh, all these very deceptive options pulling a man the other way. Okay, you, especially when you uh we kind of get petrified because our routines and our habits, they make our lives so rigid. It's so familiar, it's so known, and it's so comfortable. It's so, which kind of makes it right, a right deadly trio to break out of it, do something else. And so when that time, the choice is here: go or don't go. You don't even have that much time to decide, because it's like, hey, if you're not going, then all right, get on with the rest of your night. Okay, if you're going, you gotta go now. Ain't no way you going later. When it's getting close to, yeah, I gotta sleep now for more work or whatever. The next day is looking like for you, classes, whatever, what have you. And it, one choice is so difficult, one choice is so easy. It's effortless to, as I said, default back to, yeah, let me just, I'll sit down for 5 minutes. You ever do that? You ever do that? And then next thing you know, your morning alarm is going off. You know, I just, I just, let me just, I'll play for a little bit, just one match or something like that. Or let me just sit down. What's going on with my feed? Let me just catch up, check some emails and whatever. I mean, watch a few videos, scroll a little bit. Okay. Or maybe I'll eat first, and then afterwards I'll digest, and then I'll head out there. But bang it out, come home, shower, sleep. We were so used to immediately trying to justify, because I believe this justification is born in the fact we know that if we can just hold it off, that kind of just making it past the window of time, as I said, for the right decision to happen. I who is to say? Who is to say right or wrong decision? Well, it's the only one that's going to help you get closer to your goals in life. It's going to actually help you create the life you're really looking for. And I'm not even talking about the gym anymore. That's just the example. You get better every time you get closer. That's really what it is right there. This is talked about, I believe, in Atomic Habits, a wonderful self improvement book by, I believe, this fellow, the author. This fellow's name is James Clear. Forgive me if I got that wrong, but the title of the book, Atomic Habits, shout out, oof, it's gold. And what's talked about is you have to find your initial most tolerable point. There's you can, even if you can't. Okay, so this is what I mean by that. You might not be able to get into the full workout. That might be the plan. That might be the goal you have in your head. The whole, like the full ride, the whole shebang. You change, you drive, you go, beast mode, and then you come back home. That is that is mission accomplished. If if you play GTA, yeah, that is mission passed. Okay, dope. Let that be the ideal. Try and strive for that. Remember, real quick, plug in anything you're trying to do in life that's hard. It's the same thing. It doesn't have to be the gym. But I mean, if you knew that if you could, with a little bit of perseverance and a little bit of patience, you knew you'd make it there eventually. You'd hit it eventually. You might not be able to now, and that's okay. That's nothing to be ashamed about. That's nothing to beat yourself up about, bro. Not at all. Because if you just try, you are already, that is an instantaneous shift from who you are now into the warrior you have to be. I know how that sounds. I know I'm kind of romanticizing it right now. This is like, oh, a super dramatic example. Oh, yes, I'm a warrior for what? For what? For putting my shoes on and then deciding I don't want to because it's raining and now I'm all set and I take them back off and I still plop back down on the couch. Actually, yes, I would. I would still call you that because something changed. It didn't go down the way it always does. Now, what comes next after that, I believe, is to push it a little bit further. Could it be more than shoes? Could it possibly be the whole outfit? I know. I'm willing to bet you know where I'm headed. You see where I'm going with this. But hey, as corny or this is just more feel good than anything else. Okay, like what guy is going to do this and actually see success? The guy that won't stop. That's what it really is. Just got to try over and over and over. Okay, yeah, I mean, if any man wants to, I'm just saying, like somebody else, kind of listening on our conversation right here and would like to comment and be like, okay, well, yeah, great. Oh, so it goes from shoes to shoes and t-shirt and shoes and t-shirt to the sweatpants and a headband, okay, and he gets his shaker ready, makes the protein drink and all these steps that none of them are the actual workout. But so my question is, how does a man get there? How does any guy pull it off? You know, I I'm not it's not that you're incapable of quote unquote flipping the switch. It's not that you cannot all of a sudden, okay, just oh, I don't care, I'm doing it raw, and it just happens and you just go, yeah, great. But I really wanted to break this formula down in kind of throwing yourself into that attempt. I wanted to make it so applicable and im- and for you to immediately implement it for anything that you're trying to do in life. You it doesn't matter what it is. It really doesn't. You need to make more money. Okay, how do you want to make more money? Okay, you don't know wow. You don't you don't know how. You literally the first like the very first thing to do, and it's only going to take a couple of minutes, is you have to type in on Google, how can I, build more income? How can I supplement my 9 to 5? How can I do better in my industry, at my job, or whatever? Because, like, that's the thing. If you want the change, it's there. It always has been. It's just guys are too busy looking at something else. Okay. And even if they're not okay, too busy, they're making damn well sure that they will stay too busy. Okay? You you probably already know what I mean right there. But let me just I just don't have the I just don't have the time right now. I don't have the energy. I don't okay, I'm busy enough as it is. I worked all day. What do you want from me? You know? Okay, can I finish this season first? Okay, like this game just came out. I just want to enjoy it. Just want to play and not think about anything else. Hey, I mean, no, fair enough. Fair enough. It's just whether any man wants to think about it or not, life is gonna remind him when it comes rearing its ugly head back around. Okay? These problems, they don't go away. This is why I say it's so deceptive. It feels as though everything's fine. When you're in the game and you're watching the show and you're not sober, you're getting into the vice, whatever. Okay. And life passes you by and time just keeps on rolling. And you get older and older and older. And it seems so effortless and painless. Why live any other way? Because if for whatever reason you don't have access to your choice of, how about we'll call it a sedative? You don't, you're not able to numb yourself to the reality. If for whatever reason life gives you this wake up call, this reality check, then you'll any man will suffer like he's never suffered before. Okay, it gets worse and worse. It does not remain the same, and it sure as heck does not get better. That's the thing. That's what's really happening. And so it's almost playing ostrich, right? Did I get the animal correctly? Is it the ostrich that in danger, they they still get eaten because they don't do anything. They don't try to run. They don't hide. They do nothing. They stick their head in the ground because the logic or the brain processing is that if I can't see what's happening to me, it won't happen. But it is. That's not possible. You know, bro, your challenges and your difficulties and your struggles, they're not going anywhere. And it's inescapable in this way. And I say that I believe life does this to us because they're very uniquely ours, or yours are, rightfully so. They are very personal and individualized just for you. Now you don't have to face them. That's the thing. Oh, I mean, come on. Look at life. Look around you. Look at how men live. No, not even close. Who, you know, who or what is making you? That's why it is a war only you can fight. There's no one, there's no one that's gonna pull up on you. Okay? Like, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you wake up on time? Did you go? No, it's all you. And I think guys get really overwhelmed when they think about it in this way. But that's the lie. I really don't think any man would be that overwhelmed if he would just realize he is more than capable. He absolutely can. As I said, I reiterate again right here. You, me, any man that is even able to envision it, he would take the time to visualize, okay, daydream or whatever, or actually in his dreams when he's sleeping, whatever he's thinking about it. Kind of haunts him in this way. He doesn't even want to, but he is. And if he can do that, he can definitely try. Yeah, I've always been thinking about doing this. I've always, thought about, I've always wanted to, but okay. And then after that come the it's oh if it was one of those like cartoonish infinity scrolls, it would kind of drop and just keep on rolling into the horizon of excuses. Here's the thing about excuses, though. Some of these reasons can be very valid and justified. It's not to take anything away from a man. It's not that oh my god, that really did happen to you. It's not wow, your life. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be so crazy, like insanely difficult. No. It's not to change any of that. But I want to know the nature, or really maybe even just the function, okay, objectively, of a single excuse. And that excuse, they cease to exist. They vanish into thin air the moment you refuse to use them anymore. They only work for as long as a man is clinging on to them to hold up to the rest of the world. This is why you cannot blame me for not doing it, for not trying, for not even just putting the shoes on. Do that. I know. I'll stick to the example, but I'm talking about anything a man is really trying to get into. Put the shoes on, take them off, couch. Put the shoes on, take them off, couch. Put the shoes on, take them off, couch. And then the day comes where he puts his shoes on and he thinks to himself, huh, well, maybe, maybe I could get in the car and go. And if it really takes that long, if it takes that much of a struggle for, logically speaking, such little progress to happen, does it really matter in the end when it would inevitably lead him to his best physicality, great health, physical health, and just to put him to mold and carve himself into just the wonderful shape that he's always wanted for himself. If that is the end goal, if that's where he's headed, if that's what he's going to have, regardless of how he had to struggle to get there, would it matter? No, it wouldn't, because at that point, all along, what this hypothetical man in my gym example, what he found out all along was that he just needed to keep trying, was that he always had it in him. He really was that guy. He really could make it happen for himself and go for it and hit that goal in life. You got to find it's harder. It's harder to do this, massive overhaul, kind of just like a full demo. I'm changing now, and I'm changing everything. And it starts at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Hey, I know a few guys that can pull that off. Okay, yeah, all right. What percentage of the modern male population is going to do it like that? All right, I'll let you eyeball that number. But my point is, okay, so then set them aside from the rest of us, from all other men, and then what are these guys going to do? Just burn? Just, decay and rot? That's the real tragedy. That is the real cost that all of humanity will feel when so many, capable, brimming with potential men, young men, all around the world, but I'll stick to home. So American men that, you know, oh, that for whatever reason, familial, societal, cultural, okay, social, whatever reason, that have conditioned men, that have so convinced and persuaded very strategically, okay, very coercively, to believe the best thing for any guy to do nowadays is not try, is not go anywhere, is not do anything. Just be that very quiet, docile, single fellow. Okay, okay. Have your job to pay for what? To pay for your daily retreat back into numbing himself from the reality he has been subjected to. The the crazy shift, okay, is to understand reality in this way is actually extremely malleable. You can change it. It all comes down to the very minute, the really, really microscopic, detailed actions that you very intentionally take on a daily basis. That is it, bro. There it is right there. This is you on the rise. You elevate in this way. You go higher, you get stronger. You do become better. That's what it is right there. But I mean, then an immediate rebuttal to me, would kind of just be like, okay, Kumo, well, why do we not see so many guys doing exactly that? It's just because it's a mentality, and it is a perspective. You don't find yourself capable enough. You don't deem these little actions to build up to the profound, epic, and amazing ones to give you all you truly deserve in life. Then it is very much a self-fulfilling prophecy in this way. You don't see life, or existence as anything worthwhile. And that couldn't be further from the truth. That's why it hurts. That is a very, very uniquely male, okay, almost a masculine suffering that guys are trying to purge themselves of. And our world has gotten a lot more effective at helping a man do that. Scrolling is infinite. Is there a limit for the Amazon checkout cart? Okay, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Okay. Does the feed on the website or for whatever platform, whatever content generator, does it ever end? No, I don't think it does. One thing ends: time, life, opportunity, and chances. Those, you and I, we're so finite in this way. And that is what it's kind of a very fatal mixture coming together. I feel as though we're all witnessing that young men, I believe, out of all demographics, they are feeling it the most. Doesn't change the the this power within us, this drive that we really do all have to make things better. They can be better. It can be enjoyed. You can find meaning and fulfillment and purpose and things of this nature in life. Again, brother, what are you looking at? How are you framing this? I don't want to be here. None of it's worth it. And so it is. And so it is. Every single day is a day I get to try. It's awesome for me to be here. It is because I'm here. I get to try. And then all of a sudden, your life lights up. You don't it's not I don't want you to do this alone. Actually, I'm not telling you to be a lone wolf. Find brotherhood, find community, like-minded men, human beings, okay, that are looking for what you're looking for, okay? A life worth living. But you're not dependent, okay, in this way on anyone or anything else. Okay? No, all you need is you. All you need is you in the belief that this is really what you want. That's something you feel. That's something you can absolutely figure out. When you do, you lock it in and you go for it, and you just go step by step. You just take it from there. There's none of this. There's none of this. But what if I don't make it? Okay, but what if this doesn't end up working out? What if this doesn't end up happening the way I want it to? What if I do all this work for nothing? That's I so I'm just gonna say straight up, none of that's real. It could be. Because I say it could be real because it actually could happen. Who is to say? No one's going to be able to 100 with 100% accuracy predict the future. So in this way, anything can happen. But you won't care. That's the thing. A lot of guys miss this part. You're not going to care because you're just going to be so caught up being able to live in the most satisfying way possible. To be able to enjoy your growth, your progress, your own evolution, the birth of the greatest version of you, you're going to be so caught up with that. Why would anything else matter? And it's happening. It is. It's happening when you try, when you're struggling, when you're going for it. It's happening. Slowly, little by little, you are beginning to live your best life. How can I say that to you, bro? It's like, well, but I'm just, cleaning my room, right? I'm just, I'm not even at the gym yet. I don't even have gym clothes. I need to go to the store tomorrow. So how is it? How is it that this is my best life? Because, brother, because these actions that you would take for yourself, that's exactly where you are headed. That's why. That's why it's so important. You know, you gotta try and lock that down where you're trying to go, and then from there, it is step by step. But you'll notice very quickly that the more steps you take, the better you get. The more you prove to yourself, not anyone else. No, people don't matter in this. Well, no, people matter, but not for this particular point. It's to show you. It's so you can see. Oh, would you look at that? I really can. I really can. Because I made sure I would. That that you will always be able to do, that no one can take from you. I don't believe it's possible. Okay, the only way would they'd have to have your life. But see, then again, then again, do we really own our own lives when none of us can say for certainty we'll still have it tomorrow? Then then let it be. Then I would say let it be, brother. And right here and right now, you just what can you do? How can you try? And you go from there. This that this was my it's a very personal dive for me into kind of the essence of discipline. Okay, how is any guy really supposed to get out of a rut? How are you supposed to mount this comeback? How can you really start self-improving to have the best life possible? Which is exactly in this way. I promise you some killer results. Though I mean, of course, as always, there a few other things at the very least that go into this. As I try to talk about anything and everything that goes into male self improvement. As you are watching the Pillars of Man, your number one podcast for the best conversations you could find aimed at male self improvement. I'm your host Kumo, and I continue to reshape the modern male reality, giving any man who wishes to pull the very best out of himself a way to do that. Bro, I thank you so much for watching. Chilling with me tonight, vibing, checking all this out. If you like content like this, hit that subscribe button for me, and I hope to see you real soon in my next one. Same time, same place, right back here. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself, and I love you so much. Peace.